And now, word from the man himself, Bob Ross, also known as Emmy-winning host of the Park Rangers with Nate Matt.
Everyone, raise a glass. It's 90 degrees outside. I hope you have a glass. The fun fact for you, if you know, Bob Ross and myself both work for PDS and both from Indy. So if it weren't for Indy, no one would know about Bob Ross. That is amazing. I got the chance to go up and do a painting with some of the players in Indy 11 at the Nutrition Center. It was an amazing experience. So, proof of the point, amazing things come from Indy. So let's roast for three things. One for Bob, one for Bob. The other is an amazing people, and one of the most amazing things that has come to Indy is Indy 11. Since Bob Ross is being amazing. So everybody, enjoy the game. It's Bob Ross tonight, and you are now aware of it. Enjoy.
After a couple of matches away from downtown Indianapolis, the Indy 11 return to their home, the Mike Carroll Stadium on the campus of IUPUI. For a first time, they are hosting a Western Conference foe. It is the Real Monarchs of Salt Lake City, the affiliated club with Real Salt Lake of Major League Soccer. The Indy 11 were last in action 6 days ago against Sporting Kansas City 2. And after they tied the match at a goal apiece in the 52nd minute, Brad Hodder, they had numerous chances to win the match, including one at the very end that I am still amazed 6 days later it didn't find the back of the net.
You know, the interesting thing, at the end of a season, you do an autopsy on everything, and you figure out where things went south. And if you fall 2 points short of the playoffs, these are going to be the highlights that you look at.
And with that, Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder joining you pitchside here at Carroll Stadium. Thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV and ESPN+. In the 7.5 years of Indy 11 Soccer, I'm not sure I've seen an ending more maddening than, I mean, literally, that was the last 2 kicks of the ball for the Indy 11. Those shots from point-blank range you saw from Jared Timmer in a season where nothing has gone right for this team. Brad, how do you bounce back from something like that?
Well, that's the gig. That's what you sign up for here. You know, you take a look at a good conversion rate here for the team right now is 14%. 86% of your shots are not going in. You're going to fail 86% of the time. So it's the gig, and you have to bounce back. You got to put it in the rearview mirror, learn from it, and then move forward.
So with that tells the story of last Sunday. Let's now tell the story of what that does for the Indy 11 in the standings. And Brad talked about this. Right now, the Indy 11 are 2 points out of the final playoff position. The good news is they have 2 matches in hand on Atlanta United 2. They will see Atlanta United 2 here next Saturday. In fact, they will play them twice over the course of the last 2 months of the season. But it is really a battle from 4 through 7 for the last playoff spot in the Central Division. With that, when we come back, we will have starting lineups, opening kickoff, and something remarkable to say about the opposing netminder for the Real Monarchs tonight. That comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV and ESPN+. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. And by Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Let's go right to our starting lineups. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Blake Kelly in goal is 15 years old. It is his professional debut tonight. Young man from the state of Michigan. There are folks here in the stands that have made the trip south to watch this historic moment for that young man tonight.
And you know the cool part about stuff like this, so I'll never forget when I was in college, I went up to Wrigley Field, took a day off of school. Sean Dunstan's first professional home run, just made it into the basket. Never forgot that. People here, if Blake has one of these iconic careers and stays for a long time, there's going to be a lot of memories. There'll be a lot of people that say, hey, I watched him.
For the Indy 11, a couple of changes from last Sunday's matchup. Gordon Wild, Manuel Arteaga back in the starting 11. Nicky Loggin playing a bit more forward. Jordan Farr gets the start in net for a fourth consecutive match. Leading goal scorer on the team this year, and Jordan Hamilton comes off the bench. But also of note, coming off of the bench for the Indy 11, Carl Howarth. It's the first time he's been in the 18 all season long.
Yeah, and a nice player to break lines, to bring some creativity to the midfield and set players up. So it's good to see him back.
Now you see Max Rogers as the interim head coach of the Indy 11 taking over on June 16th. Again, got just 1 point from those 2 road matches a week ago. A Wednesday loss at Loudoun United, just the 3rd win that Loudoun has had this season, and the 1-1 draw against Sporting Kansas City 2 on Sunday. We'll catch up with Jamison Olave, the head coach for Real Monarchs, coming up in just a matter of moments. Indy 11 will have the first kick of this game. Jordan Farr will deal with the setting sun, looking back towards the west on this east-west pitch alignment. Gordon Wild, a team-high 4 assists on the campaign. Trying to add to that total tonight. As always, we thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer tonight on Wish TV as well as ESPN+. Arteaga took a tumble behind that one. This Real Monarchs team have struggled this year. 4 wins, 10 losses, and 4 draws. They are 2 years removed from being the USL Cup champions. And I cringe at bringing this up, but I think historically I have to. If the Indy 11 had beaten Lou City in the Eastern Conference Finals, we would have seen this matchup at this location in November of 2019. That would have been the championship match. I now pause as people throw things at their television across central Indiana.
Ripping scabs off.
I'm sorry. Since that time, it's been a bit of a struggle, again, for the affiliated club of Real Salt Lake. Nick Moon, the target here. Moon with 3 goals. That's 3rd best on the Indy 11 this season. Goal scorers Jordan Hamilton with 5, 4 for Manuel Arteaga, and 3 for Nick Moon. Jamison Olave is the head coach of the Real Monarchs, of this team, after spending many years playing for Real Salt Lake and in Major League Soccer, has been a part of this staff as an assistant or head coach for each of the last 5 seasons. And if you're going to be a defender in this league, you couldn't learn from a man better than Jamison Olave.
No kidding. I'll tell you what, brilliance by Nick Moon. He brings a triple team to him, frees up some space, and just flips the ball into the pocket for Gordon Wild to earn this corner kick for the 11.
Ball ricocheted off of Daniel Flores that was on your screen. So Gordon Wild gets a corner in minute number 2. Well sent in. Quickly steered outside of the 18, but not out of danger just yet, as Gershon Kopi will recycle things to Gordon Wild. Wild again looking back post, and bit of a bobble from the 15-year-old. You understand. Heart and throat moment for that youngster. He'll catch his breath as the game goes along. Look at our injury report presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And that is correct. None. Again, we alluded to this. Carl Howarth in the 18 for the first time all season. Flores, the target, could not track it down. Throw in coming for the Indy 11.
Yeah, that's a nice thought. I like that ball. You know, if you've been watching Nick Moon all season, you know how dangerous and dynamic he is getting forward. If you can make him defend and spend some energy on that side of the field, it's going to benefit you.
Gershon Kopi just turned 30 years of age this week. And spent time with the Vancouver Whitecaps and the New England Revolution in Major League Soccer. Here's Jeremiah Gutjahr, one of the artists in residence for the Indy 11 here on Bob Ross night. Jeremiah, Eric Dick, and Reese Buckmaster all had a chance to go to Mini Trista and learn at the Bob Ross Experience up in Muncie. Those 3 gentlemen have paintings that are being auctioned off throughout the course of the evening to help raise money for the great folks at Teachers Treasures to bring school supplies to those in need throughout central Indiana. The auction is open until midnight tonight at Indy11.com. Time now for the keys to this match, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Yeah, you look at Nicky Law, and he has been unbelievable, remarkably consistent. I mean, he's been one of the players you can count on each game, and ever since he's made that move to get a little bit higher forward, he's created some dynamic chances. As far as the hourglass right now, Rake, there's more sand on the bottom than the top. If the 11 are going to make a run at the playoffs, it's got to happen tonight. For Real Monarchs, you got to start hot. They scored 50 seconds into their last match, and Indy has had a penchant for giving up early goals this season, and they got to end hot. Hate to say it, but the 11 have given up a lot of late goals. Those are the times that they need to put their foot on the accelerator.
For a team that has so many teenagers on it in this developmental side for Real Salt Lake, the semester break would seemingly be apropos for what they have gone through the last couple of weeks. Real Monarchs have not played since August 7th. Here's a blast, and Far had to make a late adjustment to it. That was an absolute rocket off the right foot. Shooter that time was Milan Alowski.
What a strike. I'll tell you what, you take a look at this, and his hips aren't completely square, so you don't think he's going to be taking a shot here. And boom, just unloads a missile.
Alowski played at UCLA, as did his two brothers, who also play in the Western Conference, the USL Championship. Alowski leads the Monarchs with 4 goals as well as 3 assists. And again, you can tell Jordan's fighting that sun, trying to read where that blast was coming from the California native. It's Alowski that will head to the corner flag here in minute number 6. Finish that thought on the schedule for the Monarchs coming up here in a matter of moments. Alowski looking back post and Far able to snag it. So again, this is the first match that Real Monarchs have played in 3 weeks. They had a scheduled match that was postponed against San Antonio FC due to a bit of a COVID scare with San Antonio FC. That match has been rescheduled for this coming Wednesday. So it has been 21 days since this group last played. By the way, this match presented by Select since 1947. Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com.
As a coach, you look at a 3-week break at this point in the season, and you guys have been going for 7, 8, 9 months and at a pretty high level. It's not bad on the physical side, but then you worry about rhythm. You need that game rhythm, and guys get set in certain schedules, and all of a sudden that throws things off.
Moon, the slip for Law. Law was grabbed outside of the 18, and saying, hey, there should have been something there. Instead, it goes down as a smart bit of tactics by the Monarchs defensively. Kofi and Guti are not on the same page. Immediately, Gershon puts his hand up and says, my fault. And Briggs gets whistled as Cochran commits the foul. No card shown. Harris Briggs, young man that was a rarity, got to play college soccer last fall. In fact, you would have been on the call of one of his matches in the Sun Belt Conference tournament here on ESPN+.
Look at him as a target player.
6'4", 200.
Holy smokes.
Young man played at Georgia State University in downtown Atlanta. 27 collegiate goals, including 16 his junior year. The last 2 falls, he was the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year. Alowski trying to work his way around Jared Timmer. Former Butler Bulldog couldn't clear it. Now Flores looks to recycle. Flores looking back post. Johnson, the player closest to it from a Real Monarchs perspective, and Patrick Segrist will sky this from the direction of James Moberg for the Monarchs. And then Arteaga earns a similar call to what Briggs did a moment ago for the visitors from Salt Lake. This is the second and final match against a Western Conference side for the Indy 11. The other match happened to be, well, at the team that has the most points currently in the Western Conference, El Paso Locomotive.
Boy, are they playing well.
This, in fact, is the last match outside of the division for the Indy 11. And those matches have not gone well. The Indy 11 have not earned a single point in matches against teams from outside of the Central so far this year. But from a tiebreaker standpoint, that actually could come back to help the Indy 11 as the season goes along. Moon lifts it up and over the ball. Nick Moon, again, there's only a handful of guys that are back from last year. But it is easy to say of the players that returned, he is clearly the player that has made the greatest improvement from a season ago.
Yeah, he's an impact player. The athleticism, the pace, and the creativity on the ball in the attacking third is fantastic.
And that's not to indicate he was a poor player last year. Anything, but that. He had 2 assists in his first game with the Indy 11 in the season opener in Memphis last year.
I'll tell you what, if he has that same level of growth between this year and next year, look out.
And he's a young man that's kind of moved to different positions in his 3 years as a pro. 1 year with Lansing Ignite in USL League One. Now his 2nd year here with the Indy 11. I'm going to play his college soccer at Milwaukee. Sauceda with the ball at his feet. Halsey. Moberg, he's kind of the veteran presence. He has spent parts of 6 years with the Monarchs. You always see a player or two like that of these out of these 2 teams at the USL Championship level. Think of Christian Duke playing that role. James Chambers in the old days with the Bethlehem Steel. We're going to have 1 or 2 vets that kind of show all these young kids, hey, this is how you go about doing your job day in, day out.
Yeah, you can have it on paper, you can tell the expectations, but if you got a guy in the locker room that's living it and he can lead by example, that's a deeper learning tool.
The sports this match presented by Keystone Construction. Keystone Construction, it's more than construction, we build a vision. Pressure applied.
Oh, that's a lovely ball.
The target is Moon. Moon tried to lift it. Asked for an extended arm, won't get the call, but it will be a corner to the second in the opening 11 minutes for the Indy 11.
That is such a tough ball to bring down. At over the shoulder, you've got 2 defenders draped on you. You're still trying to battle the offsides line. That's the moment of brilliance.
Wild that will send this one in for Indy. Native of Germany. To the edge of the 6. Cochran was the target, couldn't get to it. Timmer will settle for Indy and keep the attack alive. Halsey handles that one well. Just kind of plays that to the middle of the field. Really had no help in that part of the turf. Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. We've seen Indy play a variety of defensive alignments this year. This is kind of their more traditional back 3 that we are seeing tonight. Indicates kind of a full return to health of Nabil Hackshaw, who missed all of July because of Gold Cup commitments for Trinidad and Tobago. Long ball here for Arteaga. Finds Wild on the charge. Swept away by Kyle Adams for the Monarchs. Hackshaw went from June 26th to August the 14th without starting a match for the Indy 11. And some of those were planned. He contracted a non-COVID illness at the end of his time in the Gold Cup. Had to be pulled from a start in the final match, Trinidad and Tobago, on July the 18th. Just now kind of returning to full strength. Well, he did have an assist in his first game back off the bench and a victory in Tulsa on August the 4th. Law had to break off that run just a bit to stay onside.
Right in here that Indy's found some success just dropping that ball in behind the back line. Moon's connected, Arteaga's connected, Wild's just missed.
One of the things that when you're playing the two teams is going to give away on both sides. Farr had come off his line in case it was necessary. Now he'll retreat as Briggs gives chase. These teams are tough to scout because the lineups tend to be so different on a game-by-game basis.
Tell you what, for 6'4", 200 pounds, that was a heck of a move by Briggs on Cochran.
And it is getting tougher and tougher, even for really good college players, to play at this level immediately after their college days are over with. But clearly that young man looks the part. Irwin's going to be taken a bit closer to the midfield stripe. Two of the East best will clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Lou City FC, and they have the lead and then some here in the Central Division. They will travel to Dillon Stadium to take on Hartford Athletic. It is September 7th. That's a week from this Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. Last saw Hartford Athletic here late July of last year. A 4-1 win that Indy had at Lucas Oil Stadium. Indy has pulled 4 points from 2 games in Louisville so far this year. They'll see Lou City twice more, once in September and once in October. After tonight, the Indy 11 have 12 matches left to go. And tonight is the start of a streak of 4 consecutive Saturday nights with home matches here at Carroll Stadium.
I would have told you at the beginning of the season that the 11 would have looked like they've solved the Lou City problem. Would you guess that they'd be on the outside of the playoffs?
No, absolutely not. Wild with the pickpocket. Wild right foot. And not his dominant side, but good effort considering the pressure that was being applied on his left side. Kelly able to make the save.
Yeah, and then don't discount the save by Kelly, because I tell you what, that is so easy in those moments to get rocked back on your heels and not be in position. He stayed with his weight forward, was able to get his hands to the ball, keep his positioning correct, and keep that ball in front of him.
As we show you the replay, action has transitioned to the edge of the 18, and Malik Johnson with the blast that does not threaten far as it goes up and over the bar. Malik, a native of Canada, spent the last 2 seasons with Tampa Bay. Spent time with TFC and TFC2 over 4 years, which made him a teammate of Jordan Hamilton during his days in Toronto. And look at Nicky Law. He's been one of the top players for the Indy 11 all season last time. The Indy 11 were here, a 2-1 victory against the OKC Energy, both a goal and an assist. For the man that had played 500 professional matches in England and Scotland before making his way to North America.
You know, I talked about the consistency of his performance on the field so far this season. The other remarkable thing is the consistency that he's in the lineup every week. And it's not, he didn't have an off season to heal from wounds. He just finished the season and came over.
The fact that you've got a gentleman that, again, is 15, 16 years into his career as a pro, and he leads you in minutes played, catches your attention. He has been in every match. Basically started every of them but one so far. One of 3 Indy 11 players, Arteaga and Cochran, the other 2, that have featured in every match this year. Timmer with the run going. Good Timmer, ball. Distribution to Moon. Moon on the cross, and may have been somewhere between a shot and a cross that time from Moon. It will be a goal kick coming here for Real Monarchs. This match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive partner of the Indy 11.
Talk about Nicky Law, 15-year career. He started playing pro before Blake Kelly was on the planet.
Is it just me, or is Blake's goalkeeper gear a bit baggy? Maybe you'd expect that when your netminder is 15 years old.
Think about this.
Got a little extra room there.
Think about this. So he's from Michigan. So he's growing up in this area, obviously lighting it up. Think of the high school coach that thinks he may have this kid as a freshman. In a couple years, he's going to solve all our problems.
Joined the RSL Academy a year ago and getting his first professional match tonight. Their normal keeper this year has been Jeffrey Dusnip. They've got 6 different goalkeepers on the roster, and again, that's not uncommon for the teams that have MLS ties. But Dusnip is 17 and has played in 11 of the 18 matches.
Veteran.
Last year we spent a lot of time talking about Brooks Thompson because he was from Indiana. Now on the Sporting Kansas City roster. We saw him in 3 of 4 matches against Sporting Kansas City 2 a year ago. He was 18 when that was the case. Here's Briggs. Moon, great tackle.
Well, he's shown such great skill in getting that tackle, getting a foot to the ball from the side, from behind.
Brown will send that ball across the way. Now Briggs the targeting, and Timmer can match him from a size standpoint. And Moon will buy a little more real estate. Sports This Match is presented by Bet Rivers, the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner. We briefly mentioned Sam Brown. I'm sure he's got some friends and family here tonight too. He is an Ann Arbor, Michigan native. Here's Flores. And Timmer with solid work, not once but twice, to thwart that opportunity for the Monarchs. Little give and go here between Law and Wild. Arteaga is an option, drifting towards the back post, but Wild had looked backwards.
Yeah, I tell you what, I thought he had the back line up, and Arteaga on the backside, if he could just bend it behind him. And these are the moments, okay, you sustain a bit of possession, you've got the ball for another 20, 30 seconds, but you got to start stressing that back line. You got to start seeing where the holes are, where the opportunities are going to come from. We find that out by serving that ball.
Gutjahr will switch up sides of the attack. Timmer will factor into it. Monarchs have been content to allow possession along that back line for Indy. Good job, though, of not allowing much room to operate in this chunk of the field. A lot of possession so far for Indy, not a lot of dangerous possession so far for Indy. As we mentioned, for the Monarchs, legs should be fresh, having not played in 3 weeks. And when you have so many players to choose from, also not exactly a lot of wear and tear on a lot of these guys during the course of the year. Fans, wherever you go, you can take the boys in blue with you. Download the Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Overlapping run.
That's a good thought, though.
Tried to find Segrist. And Patty's playing a little further up than we have seen him as of late. This is more of the role that we saw of him early in the year, that left wing player.
Look, I tell you, you got Neville Hackshaw behind you. You can take more chances. You can be more damn. Oh, my goodness.
Ball took a deflection off of Jared Timmer. There is an ask for a handball. I don't think they're going to get it. It'll be a throw-in coming here for Real Monarchs.
Almost reminiscent of that first goal with Loudon. That ball just whipped in from the side, and when a runner sneaks in, and Briggs is a player, you got to make sure you know where he is at all times.
You see Timmer, young man from Butler, played last year with Reno, team that made the Western Conference Championship match. Falling to Phoenix Rising. Reno closed up shop at the end of last year, and Jared was happy to come to his second home here in Indianapolis. Corner coming, taken by Alaski. Far with the read, and
well done.
Goes up and snags that one away from the taller Briggs behind him.
That is a keeper that knows his range, because that ball is to the back post, and a lot of guys look and try and see, okay, if our defenders can win it, or I'll be there for the header. That is an impressive collection.
Jordan playing in his 12th match of the season. He was out from June 15th through August 14th with a wrist injury suffered against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Even with that 2-month absence, this is the most matches he has played in a calendar year for the Indy 11. And he is a 4th-year member of the boys in blue. Gutjahr and Timmer not on the same page. This has been 23 minutes of a lot of body blows, not exactly many haymakers so far in this one. United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit USLsoccer.com.
Timing just a bit off on that one. You know, Wild was making a great run, a slashing run to cut in behind one of the center backs. Timmer saw it by the time he had delivered the ball. It was a great ball. Wild had broken off the run.
Cochran sweeps that ball away from Alashki. And far under pressure. Plays it well to Nabil Hackshaw. That is the case for almost all goalkeepers these days, but Jordan is certainly of that ilk. Where playing the ball with his feet is not a problem.
Yep. I mean, you saw the calmness there. You got a guy coming at you, pressing you, and you just give a little bit of ground, let that ball take the bounce out of that ball, give it an easier opportunity for you. Just a smart, composed play.
Of course, this match is brought to us by Keystone Construction. More than construction, we build a vision. Moon, Arteaga! Back of the net. Flag stays down. The Indy 11 enjoy the opening goal of the match. It's so important to do something every day that will make you happy. Manuel Arteaga, happy to have his 5th goal of the season, and the Indy 11 take a 1-goal lead.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this started with a brilliant ball by Coffey. And take a look at the unselfish play from Nick Moon, because he had the opportunity to put that ball on frame. As tight as he was in, the way he's striking the ball, he just delivers a beautiful ball across, brings 2 defenders to him. Arteaga does the rest, gets on the inside of the defender, and tucks it away.
And let's face it, there were so many moments that looked just like that at the end of the match last week against Sporting Kansas City 2. For the first one of that ilk to go in, it erases everything that happened 6 days ago.
It really does. I mean, you got to have that short-term memory. You know, you learn, you put it away, you move forward. And to be rewarded here, you know, in the 27th minute with a great goal, great build-up, great goal is the way to wipe that slate clean.
And on Bob Ross night, the artist palette looks a little bit different with the smoke billowing from the Brickyard Battalion currently.
So you know everything about everything. Bob Ross, guy from Florida, artist from Florida. How did he get his start on a PBS station in Muncie, Indiana?
There is a tremendous article that the folks from Indianapolis Monthly did on that about a year ago. So if you'd asked me at this time this year, I had that right in the frontal lobe. Mm-hmm. I've read a few other things since then. I forgot. I'll do a little more research at halftime. How about
one of the back lobes then?
Something. It's somewhere deep in the memory banks.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
The joy of painting on PBS from 1983 to 1994, and again filmed in Muncie. I love the creativity of Bob Ross night, and building in the donations for Teachers Treasures. And again, folks, go to Indy11.com where you can bid on the artwork put together by Eric Dick, Reese Buckmaster, Jeremiah Gutyar, and that money all goes to Teachers Treasures, which buys school supplies for those in need across central Indiana. I've had the pleasure of working with that charity over the years. Love the folks at Teachers Treasures. Fans, you can join us every Saturday morning for Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Wild was offside. Flag goes up. This week on Soccer Saturday, we talked about the artistry of Jeremiah Gutyar. Also talked about the visual training that Indy 11 athletes do through the folks at Aries Elite Sports Vision. And we talked about history repeating itself and Cristiano Ronaldo going back to Manchester United. Download the podcast anytime as the flag goes up on the other end. 1075thefan.com. I'm not sure, Brad, I've ever had one read interrupted by 2 separate offside flags at one time.
I would think in a sentence and by different teams.
And I've had longer reads. That's about a 2-line read. That's not exactly, a lot, but quick offside flags tonight.
That has to be a record. I think we need to go back.
This would be like if they had offsides in your indoor league, in your indoor days. I don't think they did. Off the noggin of Flores for a throw-in coming here for Nick Moon. Wild
quick throw.
Steps in front of Saucedo, goes to ground. Not going to get the call on that. Full contact there, yes, but not enough to draw the whistle.
You got to be a confident center to be in front of the Brickyard Battalion and not be influenced.
Here's Johnson. Now Brown. And it's a Real Monarchs club that has won 4 times in 18 matches. And they're used to certainly traveling. The distances to travel are greater in the Western Conference than they are the East, but this is as long of a road trip as they have had to this point. And they have a couple of more matches against Eastern Conference foes. Johnson trying to find an opportunity to blast it through and doesn't clear Gutjahr. Now back out for a little more real estate.
Oh, Arteaga's going to pinch one of these. Just his pressure.
Monarchs have matches left against both Hartford and Red Bulls 2 before the season comes to an end. Halsey.
It's a lovely ball.
Now, great idea. Just couldn't find the feet of Flores. Moon will sweep it a little further up the pitch, and then Saucedo commits the infraction. By the way, Real Monarchs, they're in the one division that has an odd number of teams. 31 teams in the USL Championship. Central Division, 8 teams. Atlantic Division, 8 teams. Pacific Division, 8 teams. The Mountain has just 7. So they've got a few more scheduling quirks than do other teams in the league. And we have hit the hydration break. As the sun is setting now, it's still muggy. Not as hot as it was an hour ago, but because we were well into the 90s here today, it was determined there would be a hydration break at the 30-minute mark of half number 1, 75-minute mark of half number 2. Both teams will gladly take it, and now we can look back at Manuel Arteaga's 5th strike of the season.
It's a great ball, and Coffey just picks a ball here, delivers a great ball over the top. Moon is reading it perfectly, times the run brilliantly, draws 2 defenders, slots it in behind them, and Arteaga does what he does.
Arteaga had the first goal of the campaign for the Indy 11. The season opening victory against Birmingham Legion FC back on May 1st. Had a goal that should have counted in a match against Memphis back on June 5th. But Arteaga from Venezuela, second Venezuelan to ever play for the Indy 11. Our buddy Juan Guerra is the other. And Manuel has been of the variety of players that were brought in from different backgrounds this season for the Indy 11. You see 3 of them on your screen right now. Wild, Arteaga, and Law. Manu has been as good as any player has been for the Indy 11 this season.
I've been impressed. I've been impressed with his finishing. I've been impressed with his toughness. I think he served as a great target. And the relentless energy that he has in just pressing a back line and chasing down any 50-50 ball is something that I just marvel at.
Manuel has spent time on the books at both Parma and Palermo in Europe, but never played for either club. Spent time on loan in Belgium, Croatia, Portugal, and Bolivia. Had never played in North America before this year. There you see the youngster Blake Kelly. First career match in goal for Real Monarchs. How would you assess what he's done, and what would be your advice to him at this 30-minute mark?
I'll tell you, I think he's done well. The goalkeeper coach came over and talked to him about one of the saves. He responded to it well. It doesn't look like he's rattled at all. It was a great goal against him. You know, it's one of those ones as a goalkeeper. You just throw yourself in a space where you think the ball's going to go and just hope you can make yourself big enough. You know, nothing on him and his performance.
By the way, the Real Monarchs fans got great seats for tonight's game.
Yeah.
Again, we think that's a lot of his family and contingent that is here to watch him play. They're sitting straight in the middle of the park. We didn't stick him in the upper corner.
Yeah, straight across from us.
They got good seats. Not that there's a bad seat here at Carroll Stadium. And you can get your tickets for future matches by logging on to Indy11.com or call the ticket office 317-685-1100. Again, the Indy 11 have nothing but Saturday home matches left this year, and they are home each of the next 3 Saturday nights.
Well played by Johnson. Really good flexibility in his thinking. take a look. He had 2-3 different options he was picked on, and then he looked and the lane closed. He pulled it back.
Flores, 18 years of age, plays it back to Johnson. This is not as young as we referenced the Bethlehem Steel from about 3 years ago. Guys like Aronson that were part of that team. They played 7 or 8 teenagers in one match. Not that many for the Monarchs tonight, but a couple of 3 certainly of note. That
Bethlehem Steel was 3 years ago.
Correct.
Some of those guys are still teenagers.
Yep, and one of those guys is now playing in the Champions League, by the way. Brendan Aronson, Red Bull Salzburg. One of 12 Americans that might appear in a Champions League group stage match. Record was 9, by the way, last season.
Says something. Says something, Rake.
Well, frankly, it's in part because of places like Real Salt Lake, where kids can play professionally at 15, 16, 17. Segrist will poke that ball away.
So I'll give you a trivia question here. Salt Lake and Indiana are connected by a sporting event. What is it? I'm testing you, Rake.
Well, I'm pretty sure the Utah Stars and Indiana Pacers once played in an ABA Finals about 50 years ago. Was that what you were referencing?
That's possible. I didn't go back into my ABA vault to pull a stat from. I believe that was the site of the Magic Johnson-Larry Bird final.
That is correct. The Huntsman Center on the campus of the University of Utah, the most watched college basketball game of all time, March 1979.
You are...
Well done, though.
I'm going to come.
Well done by you to bring that up.
I'm going to come up with some trivia that you're not going to get.
Neville Hackshaw with the throw in here. It's only 42 years ago.
Has it been? Oh my goodness.
Just a reminder, fans, you can pick up your IMCU debit card. You can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online, imcu.com today. Arteaga with the turn of Johnson. He's got Moon to his right, Law directly in front of him.
Incredible. That ball got stuck under his foot. Couldn't replicate that. It just falls right back in front of him, and he just rolls like it was planned.
Indy has had this habit of, if they score a goal, they'll give one up in pretty rapid fashion right after it. Trying to have history not repeat itself tonight. Indy looking for back-to-back home wins, but just a third of the year. Home wins coming against Sporting Kansas City 2 on May 22nd. And OKC 2 weeks ago. Hackshaw hoped for the foul, didn't get it. Indy has 5 behind the ball as Olaski will switch sides of the attack. Turf Monster got Flores. Nothing given there. And the bench not happy about it, but Frank, that happened right in front of us, and I agree with the call. I think he just slipped.
Right, I'll tell you what. Tip of the hat to Gordon Wild for the effort. That's a 20-yard sprint to create some back pressure on that ball.
If I'm anywhere else in the park, I go, well, that's a clear foul. It happened right in front of us. I don't think Gordon made contact with him. Kofi will play it to Hackshaw. Part of Bob Ross' night was kind of been playing to the, as Kelly volleys that one away, was playing to the former hairstyle of Neville. He's got a little more aerodynamic since coming back from the Gold Cup. And that'll be a foul on Kofi. Halsey draws the whistle. By the way, you can pick up a shirt that features Neville with kind of the old hairstyle. The Art of Defending. Go to shop.indy11.com.
Love that. It's one of the awesome, and whoever thought of the Bob Ross night thing, that's brilliant, because there's so much artistry in this game. It's you can plan for so many things, but you're relying on the individual creativity of the players. Every field is a canvas. Everybody's going to put their own color on it.
Olaski sends it through, and no masterpiece on that one. Simply a goal kick coming for Jordan Farr. Sports This Match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. Are working on what would be a third clean sheet of the season and first since May. A lot of ground to cover on that front, but
isn't there like a no-hitter rule on having conversations about that kind of stuff?
Some believe in that, some don't. I think it's early enough where you're okay to talk about things like that in a match.
Okay.
By the way, special hello to all of the Farr family watching in Oregon tonight. Hope they're enjoying the broadcast as per usual. Kofi, not where he planned on sending that one, but Siegrist able to race back and get it.
Yeah, right idea, but you take all of the energy out of Siegrist being able to do something with that ball to be dangerous.
Siegrist, the second-year pro out of Marquette, on loan from Inter Miami, one of 3 players on loan to the Indy 11. Eric Dick is in that group as well. And Aiden Liu, who we yet to see play in a match this year, on loan from his club in Denmark, the young man from Chicago. Moon. Now Gutjahr.
Oh, good find.
Arteaga couldn't make the turnaround Adams, but Adams' clearance ricochets off his own teammate in Johnson. Not a lot of room at the end for either side to move the ball here as of late. And Arteaga deemed that he committed the foul. Arteaga and Briggs, the pair that were tangled up together. Take a look for yourself here.
Oh, that's like 12 and a half feet of human.
A couple of power forwards going at it, right?
Yeah.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time in the first half, presented by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
And this is one of those windows that Indy has had that penchant of giving up that late goal.
Gave up a goal in this stage of the half 6 days ago against Sporting Kansas City 2. Now Briggs with the blast. And Wild thought he was fouled, but we play on.
Tell you, one of these things, I think you've had Johnson, Moberg. You had a couple of shots from like 25 yards out. What that does is that puts the goalkeeper, that puts the back line on blast. Now they know they're willing to pull the trigger, and they've been dangerous in every one of those. So now you got to step a little bit closer in that. And does that in the second half, does that open up opportunities to play through the line?
We've got a player down. I think it's Arteaga for Indy. And we'll stop play right now. And Arteaga down in a great deal of pain directly in front of us.
Right when he went down, you're wondering. He's been rubbing the calf a little bit, so you're thinking, okay, that's good. It's not a structural.
Lord, you're hoping it's a cramp and nothing worse than that.
You know what I heard on cramps? Pickle juice and mustard packets.
I heard the pickle juice before. Yep. I don't think you're looking at making a substitution just yet based on this. You could try to limp to get to halftime and hopefully rehydrate him.
You just run to the concession stand, get some mustard packets, and get him back in there.
He got a knee in the back of the calf. It's exactly great camera angle from behind the Brickyard Battalion. Well done to show you that. Saucedo inadvertently put the knee right in the back of his left calf. And Arteaga will try to power through as best he can. I would think a minute. Well, because of the hydration break, probably at least 2 minutes, if not 3, before we get to halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, we'll have our look around the USL Championship. We'll catch up with interim head coach Max Rogers of the Indy 11. First half highlights and stats and more. So Arteaga returns back to full strength. Flores points to a spot. Moon seems to have him covered. And then Flores is deemed to have committed the foul of pulling Moon to the turf and shown a card. So the first yellow of the match goes against Flores of Real Monarchs. Take another look at that. And it was the wrap around to the right arm.
Yep.
I didn't catch that at first. I was more focused on Moon kind of shielding Flores away from the byline, but clearly a foul and deemed to be card worthy.
Yeah, anything to the head or neck is taken at a really high level of seriousness.
Arriaga seems to be in fine form going after that one. Now Brown will distribute for Real Monarchs. And Gutjahr knew he was beat and gave the foul. And he'll be shown a yellow and offers no argument to that.
You know.
So back-to-back yellows given towards the end of half number one. Johnson's on-ball skills have been impressive in this match.
And I tell you what, I love the way he plays. And you take a look at that, he gets an idea, he gets a couple thoughts in his head. If the lane closes, if the opportunity closes, he's on to the next thought already.
And last 2 years in Tampa Bay, clearly one of the better teams in the championship. We have been told it's now confirmed by the fourth official. 3 additional minutes before we get to halftime. Back post bolstered in. Saucedo couldn't get to it.
Wow.
Cochran got a boot to clear it. There have been some great individual moments and opportunities for Real Monarchs. That was the best opportunity from the build-up standpoint. Nicky Law sprints to go track it down. Siegrist wants the ball at his feet. Law didn't have an angle to get it to him. Well defended by Real Monarchs.
Yeah, I think Nicky Law saw that ball struck and it's like, oh, I think I just got enough to get it.
Kofi commits the foul, and it's Johnson that draws said foul for a second time in as many minutes. A couple of Monarchs players thought there might have been a card involved there. Thomas and Olave saying something similar to the fourth official. One minute down, 2 to go in terms of added time before we get to our halftime intermission. Depending on the other permutations of results tonight, an Indy 11 win could be enough to put them back into the playoff half of the Central Division.
And you talked about them being 2 points out of the playoffs, but you look and there's 2 other teams sitting on 23 and somebody at 21. So you can't just focus on that top one. You got to make sure that you're putting some space between 6, 7, and 8.
And the team at 21 is the team that concerns you because it's Memphis and they have matches in hand on everybody. Memphis has a maniacally busy October. Wild sprinting after this one. Wins the foot race to get there with Kyle Adams. Adams stumbles. Wild an opportunity. Wild sets him up. Just waiting for a teammate. There's Law. Wild goes to the ground. Point to the spot. Penalty. Penalty drawn by Gordon Wild. A point to the spot right before halftime. I thought maybe Wild had missed the window of opportunity there.
He did. He broke another one. I thought he had Arteaga backside initially when he was walking in on Kelly. Took the extra touch, allowed the Monarchs to recover, and then did enough to earn it here.
Sam Brown then is deemed guilty of the offense inside of the 18. Arteaga is going for the brace. Being told to hold for a second. Blake Kelly, welcome to your first professional match.
How about that?
See if you can stop a PK. Could be the last action of the half. Second penalty that Indy has attempted in this building this year. Arteaga taking his time, waiting for the goalkeeper to commit. Blast it past him.
Finish.
Goal for Manuel Arteaga. 2-0 for the Indy 11, heading to the halftime break.
Good finish, and I'll tell you what, Kelly had a read on it. He had a read on it. Manu doesn't hit that thing as well as he does. He makes the save.
The Real Monarchs make a mistake. The Indy 11 considered a happy accident. They cash in. 2-goal lead for the boys in blue.
You're incredible.
So for Arteaga, he now claims the 6th goal of his season. His first brace of the year. Passes Jordan Hamilton for the team lead, and little that Kelly could do on that one. And this is some rarefied air that the Indy 11 are in right now. A 2-goal lead in a home match. You've got to go back to May 22nd, the last time that happened. No, that's not on my notes. That's in my head.
Unbelievable.
Say it convincingly, and people will believe you.
But I tell you what, the importance of that goal comes 10 to 15 minutes ago. You know, the Monarchs going at halftime, and it's a different feel. It is crushing. It is crushing at this point.
And again, it's a team that's playing a long way from home. A team that hadn't played in 3 weeks. A team that has struggled during the course of the season. And far from over, but clearly things tilting in favor of the Indy 11 going to the halftime break. Arteaga on the run of play. Arteaga from the spot. It adds up to a 2-goal advantage for the boys in blue. Quick impressions on half number 1.
Well, I think Indy has gotten a tremendous amount of good looks by playing either into the target in between the two center backs or playing over the top when they recognize the high line. And they've done a very solid job of reducing the touches of Briggs in the other end of the field.
3 points would go a long way to help the Indy 11 in terms of the playoff picture. They are 45 minutes to the good. 2-0 with both goals coming from Manuel Arteaga. Stay tuned. Halftime show comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV and ESPN+.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more like stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
City double their money, and how sweet the sound in Lynn Family Stadium.
And now for a further look around the USL Championship. Top 4 in the Central are in a battle again. Plenty of other scores from around the division. We'll get that to you coming up in a matter of moments. It's a heated race, especially for 2, 3, and 4 in the Central. It is not a heated race for the Golden Boot. Haji Berry is 8 goals clear of the field. He's at 19 with 2 months of the season left to play.
That's incredible. And the reason it's so impressive is not just the number, but he's keyed on by every team that they play. You wonder, at that pace that he's on, if he doesn't play the rest of the year, he may still get it.
Cameron Lancaster, 26 a couple of years ago? That's an astronomical number that Haji is putting together. And yes, there's plenty of division action taking place tonight, but there is more tomorrow as well. And again, as it relates to the Central Division, Sporting Kansas City 2 and Memphis OKC steps out of division to take on Rio Grande Valley, and catch all the full slate of games tomorrow by logging on to ESPN+. On our way out the door, here's a look at the updated scores from games that are taking place right now across the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Brad and I are back with more after this. With the sun having set in the west, the weather has cooled, but things appear to be heating up for the Indy 11. The return to the mic has not been all that fun at times this year. It's been fun so far for the Indy 11. A pair of goals for Manuel Arteaga, one from the spot right before halftime, 2-0 to score. Indy leading Real Monarchs. Get alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you again. 45 minutes to the good for Max Rogers' squad.
Yeah, this is what this team has been capable of, and on paper you've expected this all season. Now you're at a really good spot. It's unfamiliar territory.
Right.
Can you hold it for 45?
Let's talk about the way things shape up currently in the Central Division. Again, Lou City, as per usual, one of the best teams in the entirety of the USL Championship. 40 points. Again, they're a playoff team. We knew that going in. Then there's a gap to Birmingham, another bit of a gap to Tulsa. Then you get to the battle, really. And again, I wouldn't say Tulsa's guaranteed a spot, but right now let's focus kind of 4 through 7. AU2 sitting on 25 points. Then comes Indy, OKC, and Memphis. You talked about, hey, you can think about the teams in front of you, but the teams behind you, Indy has to play all of their remaining games against Oklahoma City and Memphis. All of those are on the road.
Yeah, that's great. And you look at it, and Tulsa is not out of reach. The first thing you got to do is you got to climb your way back into the picture, and then you can start to say, okay, let's get a little cushion. Let's get into that 3 spot.
Upcoming schedule for the Indy 11. You heard me say it a couple of times already. Saturday nights, this is the place to be for the next few weeks. Indy, this is the first of 4 consecutive Saturday home matches. They do have 1 road match, that coming up at Tulsa on September the 8th. By the way, we will televise all of those matches you see on your screen other than the Wednesday nighter in Tulsa. You'll see those matches either on Wish TV or on My Indy TV. And, of course, you can catch every Indy 11 match on ESPN+. We'll take this timeout. Max Rogers joins us when we come back. Indy leads at 2-0 as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV. Teams about to make their way back to the pitch here at Carroll Stadium. Already pitch side with us, the interim head coach of the Indy 11, and Max Rogers. And clearly this is the type of conversation we want to have. You've got a 2-goal lead at halftime. Overall, your thoughts about what your team did to earn that 2-goal advantage?
Yeah, it was decent. Obviously, the game's not finished yet, so we can't start thinking about that. But it's good to have the 2-0 lead at halftime. So we just spoke about halftime being professional. Still doing the things that got us success in the first half, and being, concentrating and being tight at the back.
Anything that you see in particular you want to improve on from half number 1, or simply is it more of the same for half number 2?
Ball retention, I think we need to improve, and now it's a case of managing the game. When it's on to possess the ball and make them run, we need to do that. But then when there's an opportunity to get the ball into the final third, we want to do that. We want to try and score to kill the game off. But I'm always looking for that sort of perfection, so that's always going to be the case.
Max, thank you very much. Talk to you after the match.
Thanks, Greg.
You've got it. Max Rogers, again, interim head coach of the Indy 11, and it was a short halftime speech. It didn't need to be long, given how this team played at half number 1. Let's show you how we got here. Both goals, of course, belonging to Manuel Arteaga. First, tremendous build-up in the run of play. Give the assist from Gershon Kofi to Nick Moon to Manuel Arteaga.
Yeah, just brilliance from Kofi, finding that ball, putting it out into the pocket for Moon. Great job by Moon to collect the ball, draw the defenders to him, and slot it over for Arteaga. And Arteaga's a goal scorer. He knows where to be and when to arrive.
For Nick Moon, it is his 3rd assist of the season. And then Gordon Wild would draw the foul, and Manuel Arteaga would bury the kick from the spot.
This was one where you're holding your breath on. You think the goal's going to happen in the run of play. Then you think the opportunity is lost. Then you think the opportunity is gained again. And now you're sitting there holding your breath while Manu walks up casually and buries it.
Obviously, we're focused on the Indy 11 perspective. If you're James and Olave from Real Monarchs, what was your message to your young guys at halftime?
Well, I think they were dangerous early on, getting the ball to Briggs and letting him, hold up play and having guys run off of him. And then, either Indy took it away from him and denied the ball in, or they just stopped looking for it. They seemed to play a little bit more wide at that time, and they could be effective out there, but I thought they were really dangerous going through Briggs early.
Again, the stats, pretty much the numbers are relatively even. The difference would be shots on target. Again, there was kind of the one ball that Jordan Farr had to parry away from about 18, 19 yards. Other than that, he really had to do all that much. And we're going to see a change immediately for Real Monarchs. Seth Powder, who represents Trinidad and Tobago from New Jersey, and Ibrahim Bonse. Both will enter immediately, so clearly Coach Olave thinks a change is necessary for the side from Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and it's interesting in subs like this at halftime. Is it something that you pick up tactically, that these two players have certain gifts that are going to help change this game? Or is this something predetermined? You want to get 45 minutes for your rounding guys back into the mix and rounding them back into fitness. So it'd be really interesting to dissect where these two subs come from.
And the Indy 11 has found themselves, frankly, more often than not being in the 1 or 2 goals trailing scenario at halftime than saying 2 goals to the clear. Position a bit unfamiliar for this team this year. Let's see what they do with it.
Well, I think Max said it, perfectly. Be professional here. Let's make sure that we're tight in the back. The last thing that you want to do is give open looks and open opportunities and take chances when they don't exist and start opening things up and putting yourself in dangerous situations.
Davis will play this ball over to Kyle Adams. Flores, the next touch in the midfield. For Indy, this is their last match against a non-divisional foe. They'll play 12 more times against teams from the Central, starting next Saturday against Atlanta United 2. Fans, you can get great deals and catch all the exciting action from an exclusive vantage point in the all-new Heineken deck, located at the northwest corner of Carroll Stadium. Tickets for the Heineken deck are just $15 and include $3 Heineken brands all game long. A limited number of tickets are available for each game. Get yours today by visiting the ticket section of Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. In person at the Carroll Stadium box office on game day. I'm not sure if my friends Nate and Kinsey are at the Heineken deck. I know they have beverages in hand, just stopping by to say hello. They're having a good time regardless, and as I check, yes, they have Heineken products in their hands, taking advantage of that great ticket opportunity.
Now, one thing to note here in the first couple minutes is you saw Segrist playing just off of Neville's shoulder. And we referenced it in the first half, how forward he was getting. These little tactical tweaks that you make based on score, based on time in the game, do factor into how this thing winds up.
Jordan Farr will let the game come to him for just a matter of moments. This match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. Looking for their 7th victory of the season, their 3rd in this building, but 2nd in as many tries. Davis.
That's a lovely ball.
Good looking ball here. Johnson the target. Johnson impressive with his on-ball skills in the midfield in half number 1. Now Brown. Kofi will simply blast that one back towards midfield. Saucedo will give chase. It'll be a throw incoming for the visitors from SLC.
7 guys at the top of the box for the 11. If Real Monarchs is going to get one, they're going to have to earn it because there is not much room to operate.
There have been a couple of times where I thought the Indy 11 went to game management mode in a 1-goal game that I wasn't a fan of. 2's a different story. Long distance shot, well up and over the bar. Bodie Davis. He's one of the guys that's long in the tooth on this team. His age is the number you see on his left hip, 19. Hometown kid from Sandy, Utah.
Think about that, growing up in Sandy, and that's where your training complex is.
And again, this franchise now has been there long enough where he's known nothing but having a professional soccer club in his backyard. Oh, my goodness, what a distribution from Manuel Arteaga. What can Wild do with it? Looking back post, Nicky Law the target.
Oh, that's one. You know, you got two defenders closing. It's a tough angle. Manu's off your left shoulder. That might be one that you just flick back a bit. But what a delivery from Arteaga to Wild.
Kofi got a boot to it. Here's Powder. Against his countryman, Neviel Hackshaw, back post. And Monarchs have gotten one back. Or did they?
Well, I think it went wide.
My goodness.
But, great delivery by
That did
Powder.
go wide. From our angle, you can obviously see the ball went behind the net.
Get that ball slotted through.
Missed it by inches.
Goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Well, my apologies to Real Monarchs fans and to Malik Johnson. I thought he had it. He did not. I think that also falls in the category of happy accident for the Indy 11 tonight. Foul whistled against Patrick Segrist.
Well, I'll tell you, he's been so brilliant. You know, he's due a missed touch, and unfortunately for Salt Lake, that's a killer.
Here's Moon. Went all the way across the formation. Well done on the sliding tackle by Davis. Made his debut for the Monarchs last July. Good closeout by Hackshaw. Indy 11 Premium Suites are the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Good crowd in the suites tonight. And there's not a bad seat in the entirety of the house, especially on this side of the pitch. Action is right on top of you. Team benches on this side of the park as well. And Wild, that's
a clever thought.
A significant foul. Kyle Adams. And in dangerous set-piece territory here just outside of the 18. Adams, a native of New Zealand, played at San Diego State. He is one of two players coming into tonight's match for the Monarchs that have played in all 18 matches up until this evening. Wild. Back post. Goes all the way through, and great service. Just couldn't find someone to connect with.
Tell you, the great thing with Gordon Wild serving corners and restarts is he gives you a chance on every ball.
4 assists on the year for Gordon, a team high. He's been a double-digit goal scorer in this league in the past with Loudoun United 2 years ago. Spent last year with the LA Galaxy, but really never had a chance to see much in the way of playing time at the MLS level. The former Maryland Terrapin. Neviel Hackshaw wearing the captain's armband tonight, with both Ioze and Carl Ouimet available for selection off the bench. Io playing the role of team captain. Ouimet the vice captain role this year. Both those two gentlemen, their 4th years with the Indy 11. Moon goes a-flying, and a late whistle, but what appeared to be the right one is Ponce whistled for the foul.
He's let a couple things go, and so when you see contact like that and no whistle, you're thinking, oh, all right, maybe that fits into the play, but you could see from Real that they were going to try and see if they could get away with it.
Ponce committed that foul on loan from his club in Sweden, from the nation of Burkina Faso in Africa. Only 20 years of age. A common theme on this Real Monarchs squad. Wild sends it in. Adams got there, left foot by Kofi, heading for somewhere towards downtown.
That's one of the great things about this game. You know, you've ticked off a couple of guys' resumes and in their stops, Arteaga, and you know, this game allows so many people to travel the world and experience so many different cool countries. Heads up.
Ball heading our general direction. Goes up to the camera position just above us. This reminder, fans, make sure you check out Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. And coming up at 10 o'clock, of course, Wish TV news on both Wish TV and My Indy TV. And I am known to make random appearances on Daybreak this time of year as well.
Do they know it?
Yeah,
I just
got to walk in. Hey, guys, you know. Pick up the morning paper for them, you know.
Photobomb.
They've been at work since 3. They didn't know the paper was out front, you know. I was there to talk high school football. I walk in, and what do I see on the screen? Hey, watch the Indy 11 Real Monarchs coming up Saturday night on Wish TV.
Look at that.
Made me feel at home.
Oh, that's a good pass.
Johnson on the charge. And Cochran with the solid step.
Gutjahr strung together a couple of really nice performances in these last few matches. You know, in those categories that aren't statistically, calibrated.
We've said that about holding midfielders for so many years with this team. But given the fact that Jordan Farr was chastising us for talking him and not Gutjahr 2 weeks ago, some pretty good evidence to back up your theory. Well done by Davis.
Well, tough by that position, you do all this dirty work. There's a lot of miles coming in into front screen, preventing anything, any questions that your back line has to answer. The transitional piece between the backs and the mids. So many different things have to click on and off inside that soccer brain.
By all accounts, Jeremiah's a pretty quiet kid. That's a role that suits him. Native of Bloomington North High School. Graduated from high school a year early to play collegiately at Indiana University, where his father is a professor at IU. He and Reese Buckmaster, academy teammates at IU, and now professional teammates as well.
Great turn.
There's Gordon Wild. Law was on the front foot. Ball got sent the other way. Can't watch the big match? Turn on Sirius XM FC, channel 157. North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio. Featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watson, Devin Kerr every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern. You can also hear all live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. Sirius XM 157 and the Sirius XM app. Since we're broadcasting Real Monarchs, if I don't mention Brian Dunseth's name as part of that lineup, I think our friendship would be officially over. So hello, Dunny, in case you're watching the match tonight. Had a chance to listen to Nashville and Atlanta United on my way to the stadium on 157. Our buddy Mike Conti on the radio call of that one. Arteaga given a strict no more of those from our match referee. Timmer tracks back and handles that with ease. It's been a season of stops and starts for the Indy 11. They have won back-to-back matches one time. It happened in May 22nd and May 29th. They're not worried about winning two straight. They're worried about winning one in a row tonight. But just trying to get something going of consistent, positive momentum. The flick forward for Powder. Now Brown unchallenged, but distributes out to the left side.
It's a good find. That is so well defended. As soon as that ball was pushed out, Timmer just jumps in between the ball and the defender, holds him off.
Sports This Match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Nice back heel here. Run going. Again, it's Johnson. Stood up by Timmer. Powder looking back post. Far. Didn't get it cleanly, but got enough of it. Halsey, the player closest to it for Real Monarchs.
Good read, good build up. Here's that, you listen to Coach Rogers talk about managing the game here. Once we get this ball, can we pull another 10 seconds out? Can we pull another 15 seconds out? Oh, that's a nice thought.
Long distance ball that Moon's able to track down. Has Arteaga and Law to play with. Adams got a head in the way. Arteaga. That one's headed for the natatorium.
I'll tell you what, though, a one-touch left-footed strike for the hat trick in that position is worth going for.
The long ball has worked well for the Indy 11 this evening. Take another look here on the replay. Not much of a window there for Arteaga, obviously. But open end-to-end action here. The edge of the 18, the blast from Johnson does not get through. Another solid effort by Timmer. And the recipe remains the same for the Indy 11. I'm going to elect for a little more possession this time. Segrist has all kind of space. Ball slowed him down a little bit. For the man on loan from Inter Miami.
As they press to try and get that first one back, their midfield's getting high, tucked in behind their front line, and that gives that good transitional space where Indy's able to grab the ball and just knock it around a little bit.
Good pressure by Adams. Bonse. Halsey couldn't get it through Cochran. And great read by Segrist. Again, the defenders have not been, frankly, challenged all that much tonight, but they've been up the opportunity here the last couple of moments.
No, and that was a great thought. Little combination to see if they could break that back line.
Cochran, the veteran, started all but 3 matches this year for Indy. From St. Louis, Missouri. Played the last 2 years with Phoenix Rising. At the edge of the 18, ball deflected off of Cochran, and immediately the referee said, yep, arm is tucked in, nothing there. It will be a corner coming here for Real Monarchs. The Sports This Match presented by Bet Rivers, the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner. Alaski plays it low and swept away by Gutjahr. Now Davis will direct traffic. Segrist will go ahead and give the corner. This is about as extended a possession that the Monarchs have had in the Indy 11 third tonight.
Yeah, and these restarts do make you hold your breath a little bit.
Bit of a quick one. At the edge of the 18.
Backside.
Takes a deflection. Up and over the bar. Again, it'll be corner number 3 in succession here for the visitors from Salt Lake City.
And this is where you can't give a young team any hope.
got there first for Indy. Law again will direct it back to midfield. Olowski. Brown looking back post. And Gutyar. This will not be a corner here. It'll be a throw in. But once again, the defensive effort will continue here for the Indy 11. Bonse. Flores the distribution. And this one.
Wow. What a hit.
The effort from far. And then the outstanding clearance from Gershon Kofi. Now Arteaga will hold things up and allow his teammates to charge forward. Fans, August is USL Supporters Month. We want to hear from you. Visit uslchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information on how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as the supporter of the week. And of course, every month is Supporters Month with the Indy 11 because of just how special the Brickyard Battalion is. It's an atmosphere that not many places, regardless of league, can replicate in this country. Kofi goes the turf, no whistle given. We play on. Opportunity here for the Monarchs. 4 defenders giving chase on Halsey. Young man was the 7th pick in the MLS Super Draft this year out of UVA. I'm not sure if that hit Cochran or not. It did. Another corner coming. Not the shot that Davis would really wanted, but another opportunity continues here for the Monarchs.
And I'll tell you, that's a nice flick to create an opportunity here. And you look at this strike. Oh, my goodness, and what a save, too. No angle. It just fires a rocket.
Second save of a similar ilk that Farr has made tonight. Near post side netting.
Oh, that drives you crazy.
Previous 3 services have all been pretty good. Now Farr can buy a little more time. This portion of this match is brought to us by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Farr told to get a move on the restart. And he obliges. Indy 11 has yet to use a substitution. Boy, I said inadvertently, but beginning of the match, Jordan Hamilton available for selection off the bench. Not in the 18 tonight is Jordan. So if you're looking from an offensive standpoint, Peter Lee Vassell comes to mind. And again, what will it look like if Carl Haworth can make his season debut tonight? First 2 subs are going to be Ioze and Buckmaster because they are at the bench, about to head towards the 4th official in a matter of moments. Switch to the attack by Timmer. Siegrist looking for Arteaga. Couldn't get a controlling touch on it. No further damage done by the Indy 11 so far since halftime. They have withstood a series of corners and subsequent opportunities from Real Monarchs.
Yeah, a couple transitional moments that I'm sure the coaching staff looked at and was like, come on, come on, come on. But outside of that, they've managed this 20-some minutes pretty well.
Davis.
Lovely.
Deflected. And missed.
What a great ball, great run. Those are those things you got to be careful with. You just can't let that runner get goal side. You got to be first to ball. It's a great serve, though. What a great serve.
Davis sending it into Olowski. You referenced this earlier. Brothers Brian and Eric both play in the Western Conference as well. Brian plays for Orange County. Eric plays for Las Vegas. All 3 of them played at UCLA.
So that's where you have to have that ESPN Plus package as a parent, because you can't watch all of the games live. You have to be able to go in and get that kid marathon where you're pulling up games.
Jordan Farr coming up, maybe just a bit of a cramp. Trying to stretch it out. Bobby Edwards is the backup in case it's needed.
Oh, Mustard.
Nisha Kinsey out to check on him. Saw Manuel Arteaga get a little treatment, and I think we're going to take the water break a bit early here with Jordan Farr down behind the play. Here's the last build-up, an opportunity on goal.
Look at that ball.
For Real Monarchs. Missed it by inches. And again, while it has the feeling of Indy being in control of this match, Real Monarchs have missed 2 good looks that had to have a chance to tie it up.
It takes one.
Right.
And the whole swing, the whole energy, the whole anxiety in the mic changes.
Starting next spring, the USLW League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer, both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets. The W League is set to begin play in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to USLWleague.com to learn more. There seemingly is a new club announced in that every week. I believe Northern Virginia FC was the latest one announced. Farr appears to be able to continue on. Nick Moon will exit. Our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Buckmaster and Iose enter. Segrist and Moon exit. Solid job by both of those players. As expected, Peter Lee Vassell will be the next player to enter. Looks like Abubakar Sissoko will be joining him momentarily. Captain's band goes back on Iose. His 4th year playing for the Indy 11. 9th year playing in the States after spending times with 2 different teams in La Liga. Cochran committed the foul. Put your hands up like that, you're going to call it every time. Adams restarts quickly.
Trouble.
Alaski. 2 defenders. And it'll be a goal kick. What a solid night for A.J. Cochran. Sports This Match brought to us by the Hyatt Place in Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown.
This is when you want the distance, you want to change field position, but you're concerned about that cramped calf. And you may need to start putting the guy a little bit close where he can play short and doesn't have to have a full windup.
Next wave of substitutions. Meeting with Andy Swift. Got a little strategy before they enter. And Sissoko and Vassell. A great article about Abubakar Sissoko's story on Indy11.com this week. And the reason why he is wearing number 85. Lost both parents at the age of 58. That's his way of paying tribute to them. We'll see him in the lineup momentarily. Well, the chances in the second half have been dominated by Real Monarchs. They have yet to cash in on one.
And Indy's given and allowing possession on the edge of their defensive third, and Salt Lake City's probing. They're probing. They're trying to find, can we go over the top? Can we go wide? Are there chances to work in combination and get through? And the 11 have answered every one of those questions.
Still muggy here this evening, but nowhere near the warmth that you felt off that turf in pregame warm-ups in the early stages of half number 1. We talked about Farr feeling the after effects of that cramp in his leg again. An errant goal kick there.
could see that wasn't a full windup.
Indy 11 have played 3 different netminders this season. Edwards is the reserve available tonight. We've not seen Bobby for the better part of August, after he got most of the reps in the month of June and July. Hackshaw will flick it outside of the 18. Davis on the clearance, but Iose gets in the way up.
Look at that pace from Iose.
Doesn't play like he's 36, does he? Oldest player on the Indy 11. In the 80s in terms of his career appearances for the club. Currently in 6th place on the club's all-time list. Gutyar's night is over with. Sissoko will come in to replace him.
Great performance.
Job well done by Jeremiah. Our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. And Nicky Law will get a rare respite. He is the club leader in terms of minutes played. He has not seen his name on that signboard very often this year. He will exit with 15 or so minutes left to go. Peter Lee Vassell, 21-year-old from Jamaica, had goals in back-to-back matches at Tulsa and at Atlanta United 2. Now entering the fray. And the ball finds him.
That may be one. You're looking for that knockout punch in transition as they start pushing players. He's got the pace and fresh legs.
Wild to Arteaga. Arteaga deflected. Adams got a piece, then Kelly cleaned up the rest. And a good look at a third for Manuel. Three substitutes remaining if used by Coach Olave for the Real Monarchs. Here's Halsey.
It's a lovely ball to Halsey, tucked in behind Hackshaw.
Brown looking to distribute. Bonse at the edge of the box. Deflected, corner coming. Take a look at the last opportunity on frame from Manuel Arteaga.
And I think when he cut it back, I think he wanted it just a little bit further out in front of him where he wouldn't have to take that second touch to set up the shot.
Corner coming from the far side this time. Off the crossbar. And Indy 11 been living dangerously here in this half. Also wins the foot race to get there. Well done by Arteaga to avoid Brown. Vassell. Wild was just a step offside. He didn't have time to kind of get back on. It just stepped off the line. And let's take a look at another near miss for Real Monarchs.
They've been dangerous on their restarts. Oh, look at that one.
It was from Brown. A man from Ann Arbor. Played at Harvard, did Sam. Was the Ivy League Rookie of the Year in 2014. We've had a couple of Ivy Leaguers play for the Indy 11 over the years. Duke Lacroix from Penn.
But Duke's carved out a nice career for himself.
Yes, he has. Craig Henderson from Dartmouth also spent 1 year with the Indy 11 back in 2017. Good read by Hackshaw. Again, 1 sub remaining for Indy. 3 left for Real Monarchs. Iose went to the turf in a heap. Adams with a shove on Arteaga. There's been a lot of contact that has been allowed to be let go in this match, and Adams showed the frustration because of that, and now players need to be separated.
Tell you what, look at the response from Arteaga. Complete class. Just going to walk away. Going to walk away.
That'll be a card on Adams for the shove. Let's see if Arteaga will draw a card as well for the contact. Looks like he's going to. Shakes his head in a very civil disagreement on that front. And again, our referee has allowed this match to be physical going in both directions. Indy was unhappy about the lack of a foul whistled on Iose. And again, Arteaga went up high and made contact with Adams with the elbow. I think that's probably fair in terms of sending a card both ways. And if you have any idea as to how Arteaga, his respect level in the locker room, look at all of his teammates racing over here in an instant.
It speaks to him in the locker room. I tell you, I was on a team one time, situation like that happened. Nobody. At one point, you know, I'm looking down the bench, I'm like, we gotta go. We gotta go. Come on.
Well, that was the player coach, and the only guy he liked was you, right?
That was it. And the only reason he liked me was because I went.
If you think I don't listen to your stories, I at least listen to that one back in the day.
It was incredible. He was a tough player coach, and just didn't have a warm, fuzzy locker room. And when a situation like that happened, holy cow, nobody came to his support. Finally, just had to go.
Davis with the flick, and Hackshaw back to the safety of Jordan Farr. Olaski giving chase.
It's a great ball.
This Porsche this match presented by Mentor Insurance. Everybody needs a mentor. Bossel with room to operate. Wild to his right. Buckmass provides support as well. Iose asking for it. Not sure Wild can get it to him. And in possession, certainly not a bad thing for the Indy 11. They've not had much of it here in half number 2. And the Monarchs have done nothing to dent the 2-goal advantage that the Indy 11 took to halftime.
And you look at the Monarchs, they have to sell out on the half chances where they think they can have something, manufacture something, and that just drains the tank if it's not rewarded. Oh, what a turn.
Arteaga got a boot to it. What a night it's been for Manu. Indy has a pair of 2-0 victories this season. Hearing it Sporting Kansas City 2, May 22nd at Tulsa on August the 4th. And a foul called behind the play against Arteaga. Brickyard Battalion on the bounce like it's minute 1, not minute 81. We'll have the joy of seeing and hearing them the next 3 Saturdays as well. A good read by Timmer.
See the guys wear the heart rate monitors underneath their jerseys where they can track the biometrics. It'd be interesting to put the Brickyard Battalion in those, and let's check their heart rates and the intensity level in which they're playing.
Here's Powder. Still some ammunition left off the bench for Real Monarchs.
Nice flick.
The breaks have gone the way of the Indy 11 tonight, even on that carom. Ricocheted off an Indy 11 defender and right to Gordon Wild. What a through ball. Bossel just couldn't keep it on his feet. Great ball though from Buckmaster. And Reese's playing time increased exponentially with the absence of Neville Hackshaw. He'll play the same position, but it gave Buckmaster more of an opportunity. Buckmaster and Gutjahr more minutes from June on. More minutes for Sissoko during the month of August. Opportunity here. Wild finds Bossel, but
great vision.
Just a step off.
Great vision.
But because of the numbers that the Monarchs are throwing forward, giving Indy those opportunities in the back end to put this away and make it a 3-goal game. Davis. Hackshaw. And Iose deemed to be the foul. And he'll be shown a card as well. Card starting to fly here late in the match. It's a rare card against Iose. His third of the season. We came in with 4 as the clubhouse leader. Not sure whether we won't see that Carl tonight, because Carl Howarth is about to make his Indy 11 season debut. He's got the jersey top on and making his way to the 4th official. He's changed his hairstyle. He may have to introduce himself to everybody over here, but the 4th official.
I did not recognize him pre-game at the last home match when he was out getting some work in.
Veteran of 6 seasons with the Ottawa Fury. Back post player slips, nothing there. Miloski looking for an equalizing penalty after what was given to Manuel Arteaga in the first half, but again, just no contact there.
There was enough to at least hold your breath a little bit.
Davis lines it up.
Strike.
And Farr with the diving effort on the save.
Good strike, and he's asking, he's demanding of his backs, hey, they've shown that they're going to pull the trigger from 25. You got to step a bit higher. You got to contest it a bit.
Yet another corner. And we're in the neighborhood of like 6 or 7 corners since halftime.
What a save. That's a great shot.
And the restart was a quick one and wasn't exactly effective nor efficient for Real Monarchs.
It's restarts like that why I have no hair. It's stuff like that. You know, you're in a situation where you absolutely need a great ball played in to give yourself a chance. And that's the second one here in the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Here is Carl Howarth, a young man that has both Canadian and English heritage. But all of his experience as a pro was playing for the Ottawa Fury. We saw him for years playing against the Indy 11 in the NASL days and then the USL days. Was one of the big acquisitions before last season for then head coach Martin Running. Great to see Carl making his season debut in match number 20. All our substitutions brought to you by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. And our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of tonight's match presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Carl suffered an injury basically on the first day of training for the Indy 11. Didn't think it was going to be a long-term injury, then kind of re-injured it again, which has cost him 2/3 of a season.
Yeah, but multi-time captain up in Ottawa, great leader, creative player.
Carl missed 5 matches due to injury last year. Never kind of found his rhythm after that part of the season. He is a guy you can kind of put almost in any spot all over the field.
Yep. High IQ.
Be a difference maker. And again, Indy being deliberate on restarts here. You mentioned the sands of the hourglass earlier. In this case, they are in favor of the Indy 11 currently. And 2 other intra-division battles tonight. Featuring Louisville and Birmingham, and honestly, that match isn't of concern for the Indy 11 right now. They're not in that neighborhood in terms of the standings yet. They hope to be at some point this year, and thought they would be going into the season, but they're on the other end of the playoff spectrum in terms of just make sure you get in at this point after missing them in devastating fashion a year ago.
Yeah, the points, the result, and that one's virtually irrelevant. Both those teams have just about secured a place in the playoffs.
The other matchup that pertains to Indy in the playoffs would be FC Tulsa and Atlanta United 2. That match started about 20 minutes ago. We'll update that for you during the course of the postgame show. But that is the game that has a far greater implication on what the next week or two looks like for Indy. Everybody else plays tomorrow. OKC steps out of division like Indy did tonight to take on Rio Grande Valley. Now, Memphis and Sporting Kansas City 2 play tomorrow afternoon. Off the head of Powder. We referenced that this could have been the USL Cup championship match 2 years ago. Instead, this is the only meeting between these two teams. And we kind of expect it to be the only meeting between these two teams as the teams that are affiliated with Major League Soccer start to make their way out of the league to play MLS Reserve League. So this could be one and done for these two teams getting together.
Good high side double. Well done, Peter Lee.
There'll be 4 additional minutes added on the back end of this match. Again, you are looking at these matches from a player development standpoint. As Kelly hustles over to that one and prevents a corner, that will be a throw instead. Now he's got to race back to get into the goal mouth. So from the Real Salt Lake perspective, what catches your attention from tonight's match?
You got some dangerous players.
Johnson's really impressive.
You have to be thrilled with what the future looks like. I mean, they're pulling the trigger from 25 yards out, and those are not balls that are drifting up into the stands. Those are balls that, Jordan Farr's had to make a save on. They move the ball well. They've got some creative thoughts. I'm really a fan of Briggs. I like to see, once he gets a little bit more experience and the players around him that feed the ball to him and run off of him, I like to see how his career is going to go. I'm going to keep an eye on this Blake Kelly kid, too.
15 years of age. Making his professional debut tonight. Joined the RSL Academy last year. Native of Michigan. Hallworth will try to kill a little time by the corner flag here. And draws a foul. Well done by Carl.
Well done on a lot of levels. You keep that ball 100+ yards from your goal. You're going to draw another 30 seconds off the clock. You wind up playing short. You put Iose on the ball and Hallworth, and you connect with those guys, and there's another 30 seconds that are going to be gone.
Monarchs will not use any further substitutions barring an injury. Ball sent in, headed away by Adams. Kofi one touch. Sissoko the blast that also did not get through. But again, the Indy 11 maintained possession as they enjoy a 2-goal lead with a little under 3 minutes left to go in this one. Iose again will just try to gobble up time.
Veteran.
That will be a goal kick. Couldn't keep it in play. Kelly will relaunch quickly. Adams clearance. Basel, Arteaga gives it to Kofi.
Oh my goodness.
Not done yet. Arteaga couldn't get to it. Kofi a second chance. Gershon still has yet to score his first Indy 11 goal.
His eyes had to be big on both of those opportunities.
Let's also, though, you talked about the way his teammates responded when Arteaga got involved in that tussle with Adams. How about a guy that's sitting on 2 goals, could have gone for a hat trick, elected to pass 2 different times?
Yeah,
tells you a lot.
I am becoming more of a fan every day.
Hackshaw sweeps it away. Indy 11 began their month with a clean sheet, a victory at Tulsa, trying to end it in similar fashion. That win in Tulsa put them back in a playoff position. They're hoping for something similar tonight. Davis with a slalom level run. Appropriate for someone with Bodie as his first name.
You keep an eye on him too. I mean, he's created so much this match.
He's 19. A foul called, and again, you're okay with that foul called there because you'll taking their 20 seconds off the clock. Arteaga with the restart. A bit too hasty for our match referees' liking. That just takes more time off of our match clock with seconds left to go.
Arteaga's probably thinking, what do I got to do to score on that end of this field?
As this match continues, now we'll simply look at our referee. And the glance, the wristwatch occurs. Another foul whistled against the Monarchs. Alaski, the guilty party this time, and he'll be shown a card as well. And I would say one more touch of the ball might be, that's it and that's all for this evening. A home winning streak.
How about that? Long overdue. Long overdue, but these 3 points are massive.
And that's it. Not much needed for the Indy 11 in half number 2. Most of their effort was spent defending in the second half. Back-to-back home wins for the Indy 11 and temporarily back into a playoff position with 12 matches left to go.
How about that? And still a game in hand on Atlanta, so that puts you in a nice, comfortable spot. You got a little bit of breathing space there.
On Bob Ross night, the Indy 11 painted a masterpiece with the help of our friends at Sherwin-Williams. They bring tonight's final score to you. Thanks for your appreciation. They've got more than 25 locations across Indianapolis. Your neighborhood paint store is always there to provide the perfect finish. It was the Arteaga that provided those finishes for the Indy 11 tonight. 2-0 they win. Post-game coverage comes your way next here on Wish TV. Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Indy 11 take home all 3 points tonight, much to the happiness of the Brickyard Battalion. We're going to check in with Max Rogers coming up here in just a matter of moments. Both goals scored in half number 1, and both belong to Manuel Arteaga.
One of the things you love when you dissect this video is the brilliance of 3 players all being on the same page. The ball from Coffey, the attack by Moon, the delivery, and the finish by Arteaga.
And the foul drawn by Wild, immediate point to the spot for the penalty. Arteaga took his time, picked his spot, and executed it perfectly. So with that, another month is in the books. 4th month of this Indy 11 season has come to an end. 12 matches left to go. Here is what September looks like, and it looks like a lot of Saturday night home matches here at Carroll Stadium. Atlanta United 2 next Saturday, then 2 FC Tulsa the following Wednesday, then back home for Sporting Kansas City 2 and Lou City. Again, there's some midweek road matches mixed in there, a lot of Saturday nights at home, and it finally feels like the Indy 11 have found their form in this building.
And you love to see this schedule because it's the teams that you're competing against for that last spot. So these are all 6-point matches.
Stay tuned. We'll take this quick timeout for those in ESPN Plus. That will end our broadcast night. Those of you in Indianapolis watching on Wish TV, it's almost time for the Honda postgame show presented by Bet Rivers. Head coach Max Rogers, defender A.J. Cochran will be our special guest, and we will continue to celebrate Bob Ross night at the mic. The Indy 11 celebrate all 3 points. They win 2-0 this evening.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Jordan Farr and Patrick Seeger signing some autographs after tonight's game. The Indy 11 a 2-0 win against Real Monarchs. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder. We immediately begin the Honda postgame show presented by Bet Rivers with the winning head coach of the Indy 11. That is our buddy Max Rogers. Same score lines we talked to you about an hour ago. My friend, congratulations on the win. Just your thoughts overall how things played out tonight.
Yeah, thanks very much. Good to get the 3 points. That's what we're after at this stage. So, I thought we were a very professional second half and defended the box well. They had a couple balls flashed across the goal, but so that happens at every level. And I thought in the main we defended well. And the only thing is, you look at could we have got that third goal, and we had some good moments, but couldn't find the finishing touch. But obviously delighted to get the 3 points.
Manuel Arteaga has 2 goals, but he also has a couple of moments I thought where he showed he was a great teammate. Hey, he gets in that tussle late. All of his teammates come run to defend him. Secondly, he's got a chance to go for a third goal. He plays it twice to Gershon Kofi. Just your thoughts about what Manu has meant to your club this season.
Yeah, I've said that, or we've spoken about that as a team, that we have to sort of be together, and if one person's in trouble, we all have to be there to back them up and bail them out. So that was good to see. Obviously don't want to cause any issues on the field, but we want to support each other. And then, as you say, for him to sort of lay the ball off shows his mindset and his mentality to help the team. And and that's a great example for everyone else. And we've got to build on that, and it's a big part of of being a team and being a successful team. Is that it doesn't matter who scores; it's as long as the ball goes in the back of the net.
Sometimes through film, this answer will change, but standing here at the end of this match, what are some of the things that you pull from here that you can build on, either individually with certain guys in positions or pockets of guys working together?
Yeah, a big thing we spoke about before the game and in this system as well is the combinations and play of the front three. We spoke about that before the game and touched on that in training, and I thought that they moved off each other well and combined well, and found good pockets of space, and so that was pleasing to see. And then obviously we, Kofi and Jeremiah starting to get a good relationship in midfield, and it's just about continuing to build those relationships and making sure that we can be consistent now.
You talked at halftime about the way to navigate this 2-goal lead is to be professional and be disciplined in the back and not get separated at all. Tactically, do you make any of these changes personnel-wise or tell guys to hold differently, or is it just you need to put that on the plate for them, they digest it, and they know what to do?
Bit of both. You have to trust the experienced players, but at the same time, if you rely on them too much and they focus on that and can't focus on themselves, so it's a balance. I have to give them information and what I see can help the team, and then obviously they have to go out and make a final decision because they're the ones playing the game. So, and in terms of change, it's just to give us that freshness, and I thought all the subs that came on did very well, and a lot of the times when subs, it's to bring that into the game rather than take someone out.
Well, let's talk about that last sub. Again, it was a victory for him to be out there on the field for the first time this year. I asked you this kind of variation of this question on Soccer Saturday today. The ability to kind of add a Carl Haworth into the mix at this stage of the season, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like a new signing for us. And Carl's been a fantastic professional in returning from injury and get himself back healthy, strong and fit. And now that he's involved more, he can start to become a real leader for us and show and lead by example, which he's done so far. And I look forward to having him available for selection, and it's another player to add competition. But we know that whatever job he's asked to do, that he'll do it to the best of his ability. And as a coach, that's all you want from players.
All right, Max, we'll let you go enjoy it, buddy. Congratulations on the win. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Greg. Cheers.
You got it. The interim head coach of the Indy 11 and Max Rogers, kind enough to join us. A.J. Crockett will be with us coming up in just a matter of moments. But again, there's good feelings all around after this one for the Indy 11.
Yeah, you go back to what you said 90 minutes ago. It's like, how do you respond?
What
do you do?
Did.
This is it. This is the response, and it wipes the slate clean, changes the vibe in the locker room, changes the vibe in the training environment. It puts you in the right frame of mind to finish the season and do what you need to do.
And again, pending on what happens in that FC Tulsa and Atlanta United 2 match,